Hey people, Indrid here, 1v1, Dorillo's Forge, blue side. It's packs with a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero. Lethal objects cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption fighting in melee. Just leaves the requisition point, for it does not bleed or contain any skulls therein. Red side, Val.Hero's Farseer, a support hero fighting in melee, some powerful buffs and control. Just contemplated the requisition point for a second there, but is now capping it. Packs with some Chaos Space Marines. The camera just glitches out at this spot for some reason. More Heretics on the way, and double Guardians into Banshees for Val.Hero. No natural victory points on this map. Northeast, mid here being taken by that Chaos Lord, and southwest where Heretics and Guardians are gonna clash. Oh, Farseer is gonna help out too, I guess. Gonna throw Guide on the Guardians. No, throws Guide on herself. Wanted the Guardians moving, I guess. That's a 30% damage bonus with a 30% increase to range as well. So I guess she's got more range on her little Eldar pistol, shuriken pistol thing, which I don't think does very much damage at all. But she's getting stuck in. Killed two Heretics. 3 Heretics, there's 5 left. I'm not sure where the other corpse is, but it's around. She's now trying to cap that natural power point. Banshees need to be careful of the kill the weak here. There it is. Starting ability of the Chaos Lord, hitting all nearby units, or enemy units rather, and healing him for each one that was hit. Helps him get out of some melee scrapes, that's for sure. Chaos Space Marines just chilling out in the mid, behind some heavy cover pipes. Chaos Lord had a little dance, blew up a barrel. He's having a grand old time. But he did retreat in the end. CSM trying to outshoot Guardians from cover, but here come the Banshees. I was going to say here come the Banshees to even up that fight, but it's not very even. Banshees will wipe the floor with those Chaos Space Marines early on with those power weapons. Heretics coming in to help them out. Their Doom Blast and general melee prowess will help in this fight, and the Aspiring Champion comes into the squad, gives them more hit points, which in turn means their Doom Blast does more damage, where they detonate one of their models to damage nearby enemies and suppress them. It's a very simple to use melee counter for Chaos, which is why I always suggest Chaos for a new player. Space Marines obviously a very popular faction in this game, but new players can often be frustrated by how dangerous melee squads are in Tier 1, where you've got to use shotgun scouts perhaps, which aren't the easiest things to manage when you're new to this game. Have to get close to use the shotguns, they're quite weak, standing up to sustained fire. And you've got to time those shotgun blasts well. There are other ways to deal with melee, of course, Devastators and various hero war gears for the Space Marines, but Heretics are a relatively simple way to deal with that kind of thing. I mean, they have their own foibles, they're relatively weak themselves, you need to be careful not to commit them too early or too hard, or you're going to lose them. But you keep them lying in wait, wait for Banshees to get close, chuck them in there, hit the Doom Blast, and then run away generally at some point, you'll do okay. Rangers getting shots in on those Chaos Space Marines there. They're really determined to finish this power bash for Chaos, and they do it. Maybe if the Guardians repaired sooner, they would have been able to save it. We have a Combi Flamer up for the Chaos Lord. Almost 30 DPS piercing to peel off models as he's chasing them around. We see some Mind War from the Ghost Helm. 40 heavy melee damage with some courage damage, because it suppresses stuff, and courage is the mechanic for that in this game, although it's not explicitly stated very often. I mean, it's stated there, but I don't know if that's a tooltip written by the Elite mod team at some point, or if the default tooltip mentions courage. Heretics, oh, they've gone for grenade launchers, these fellas. Aspiring Champion gets a bolt gun, bolter, and they missed their grenade barrage. Those Guardians were pretty nifty at dodging it. Farseer trying to put pressure on, of course, but Chaos Space Marines are here with the Eternal War upgrade. 20% more damage to melee and ranged attacks. Really stacks up. Doing some good damage to this Farseer, gets an awesome special attack, and then gets the hell out of there. CSM will come and, yeah, they'll peel off models pretty quickly from those Guardians. Rangers getting shots in and Banshees following up. This can be a really nasty combo because of the kinetic pulse that they just tried to use there, but the CSM had retreated before it landed. Banshee still got a model though. Nice idea on that grenade, didn't quite hit. Chaos Lord with a big swing and a miss. Now being chopped up by Banshees, but he has the energy for the kill the weak. And it's got the energy for some immolation too, which is pretty effective it turns out. You saw the Banshees back off there, that's because Val.Hero saw the energy fly down, which is typically indicating kill the weak is coming, but in that instance it was immolate. If they just stayed there and chopped him up while he was burning things, would have done a lot of damage there. Rangers on the northeastern cap. These guys decapping this natural wreck point. What is this? It's heretics, the melee ones being caught by a Farseer, puts guide on herself again, and there's the mind war to suppress those heretics and do some damage. Surprised we didn't see a grenade after that mind war. Guardians with that battle equipment. There's the grenade on retreat. That's what they saved it for. Gets 5 kills. Nicely done. And Farseer levels to 2. Looks like we're gonna get just a 2-to-1 with the northeast and southwest VPs switching hands. Tier 2 for packs. Maybe we'll see that Blood Crusher. Did the Banshees get a mark? Or aspect, rather. Would love to see some Mark of Khorne Howling Banshees. They have the aspect of Fleetness. Gives them all the power sword you would like. Here come Banshees. Grenade barrage is nicely timed. One of them gets through, and she's able to yell and suppress everything here. Little bit unlucky for Pax, maybe. That one got through, was able to yell at the CSM. Maybe should have... It would have been risky, but I wonder if it would have been worth sending the CSM into melee there. When the Banshees went for the heretics to get some hits. Probably wouldn't have been worth the risk. The Banshees just turned on them and did some special attacks and knocked them over. They could have died. It is indeed a Blood Crusher for Pax. Awesome. Love me a good Blood Crusher coming out early in Tier 2. Guardian's trying to bash back this natural power. I guess it's natural. Is that you don't typically see gens on it. I don't think. It's usually up here and down here for the other side. Because they're a bit closer. But sometimes you would. Chaos Lord with Armor of the Inferno on the way. Farseer is not capping mid. She's, I'm not sure what she's up to. She's going to put guide on these guys so they can bash a bit quicker. This VP's already red. Oh, Val.Hero just hanging out. 439 to 378. Immolate, power bashing Chaos Lord. There's Let the Galaxy Burn. Some decent hits. Kind of got a randomized spread on it, the Let the Galaxy Burn. Banshee took a bunch of damage though. And here's your Blood Crusher. Counts as a demon for worship purposes. A Bloodletter riding a Juggernaut. Heavy melee damage, good mobility, but is relatively weak in terms of durability. 600 hit points, but you get it out early, can really pack a punch. There's a lot of DPS, might help wipe these Guardians, could send it into base to kill that last model, but they're going to get this webway instead. 12 red for that, a bunch of XP, and they're on the power now. They should get a full bash. Heretics need to stop meleeing things. There we go. They should probably just decap while the others bash, I think. Meanwhile, Farseer is now capping that central VP. We have a webway down here, which is in a position where it's just going to be bumped into, I think. Should have gone right for the corner, maybe. Here's the tier 2 for Val.Hero. Gonna need some anti-vehicle to deal with this Blood Crusher. Can't get it with the Banshees because they have the aspect of fleetiness, not the aspect of strength. The Farseer herself can get a heavy melee weapon, but she's gonna go down here. Sync kill from the Blood Crusher, and the Farseer, just hemorrhaging blood, is tossed aside. I guess hemorrhaging blood wouldn't be a thing you would say. Isn't a hemorrhage like an internal bleed? Look at this poor little dreadnought fella. Fire Dragons on the way for Val.Hero. They have kind of anti-everything fusion guns, so they can deal with the Blood Crusher. Especially with Farseer guide support. Unfortunately for them, she's down right now. Ranger's getting shots on the kill sword, just pissing him off a bit. Now he wants to find them. He's very, very angry. These heretics do have that aspiring champion, so they can spot infiltrated units such as the Rangers. See that eye indicator on their icon there? Tells you they are a detector. Webway goes up again here. Tier 3 for packs. The Blood Crusher has carried them through, and that's pretty nice timing, I think. If they can keep these Fire Dragons busy, make Val.Hero work hard to get this Blood Crusher down. Farseer's back to her feet, and she can throw Guide on the Fire Dragons to give them that 30% damage and range, which is pretty amazing for Fire Dragons, as you may expect. Here they are, not moving at the moment, but they will, and I'm sure it'll be cool. Heretics leveling to 3. They're doing alright, these lads. Melee fellas are still level 1. Banshees, also still level 1. They can't fight this Blood Crusher. Maybe with Guide up, they do okay-ish. I mean, Power Melee does do some damage to vehicle armor, and he only has 600 hit points of it. Well, 690 now is level 2. Why does it go to 690 and not 660? I guess he gets 15% health at level 2, not 10. The leveling structures aren't the same for all the units. For example, I think the Space Marine Librarian gets like a big boost to his numbers if he hits level 4, which I always thought was pretty cool. I think that should be a common thing for the sub-commanders, if it isn't already. If you get them to level 4, give them a bit of a boost. Mind War was on those heretics and they ran away. 404 to 368, 2-to-1 cap for packs. Well into tier 3. Not sure what they're going to go for here. Are we going for a big scary super unit? Guardians get their Warlock fella. CSM barely get into the garrison before the Banshees chop them up. 405 to 355. There's the Fire Dragons doing their thing. You see the Exarch there with the Fire Pike. I assume it does more DPS than the other guns, but I'm not actually sure. It might just be a visual thing. You can switch that for a Flamer, which is useful for power bashing and also useful versus infantry in general. So you may see it used. Axe is floating. He must be going for a Great Unclean One or something. Or maybe they're just biding their time to see what they see. Maybe see if they can kill the Fire Dragons and get a tank up. That was quite nasty. Mind War into a grenade. Nicely pulled off there by Val.Hero. Back up to the northeast. It's turning red thanks to Guardians. There is a webway up in the corner. Blood Crusher's been used quite well so far by packs. Staying mobile. Not being predictable with it. Like constantly hitting the same area from the same angle or something. Grenade barrage hits one Banshee. But they're able to get in and do some power. I mean, she's got 2 swords and she kicks you. It's a power melee kick. I mean, it must be pretty good. Got some good thigh and calf strength going on there. But use your swords, woman. Fire Dragons. Did that hit? Didn't seem to do much damage to the Chaos Lord. Rangers have been okay. Kind of annoying around the edges of the map. I haven't seen them do a nice kinetic pulse setup, but maybe there has been one. There's Guide on the Guardians. And there's Let the Galaxy Burn. It is indeed a Great Unclean One on the way for packs. Awesome. Blood Crusher's still around too, doing some good work. Chaos Lord might fall here. Mind War and the Banshees coming in. They get a sync kill. Couldn't see super well. I kind of huddled around him, watching it. On the power now, Val.Hero. Kicking off in the northeast. They're going to take out the webway, but the Guardian's ducked inside of it. And, are you going to help? Farseer lady? Nope. Level 3 with rune armor in. For some Psychic Storm shenanigans. Did the CSM get a mark? No. Not even aspiring champion yet. These fellas are level 3 doing well. Doing well. Guardians are strangely split up here. I guess they were looking for cover. This was something they adjusted really early in the game. It used to be the case that individual models of a unit would actually wander quite far to look for cover if it was something they adjusted. So I assume that's something the modders could adjust further if they wanted to. Distance to look for cover when idle or whatever. Must be in there somewhere. Here's the Great Unclean One, stomping out a base to your left. Blood Crusher's been amazing so far. Fire Dragons are on it, and they are infiltrated because of the webway they got out of, I guess. I don't know where that webway is. Maybe it was taken out in front of me, and I missed it. But they got away. And there's Foul Snare. Knocked the Farseer over twice for some reason. Not sure what that was about. 350 to 338. Oh, it was the Rangers with their hollow fields that infiltrated the Fire Dragons over there. It wasn't a webway. It's a nice grenade up on that container. Couldn't quite get over that outcropping, that retaining wall there. So the Great Unclean One then, big Greater Demon fella, has a massive bucket of health, passively damages nearby enemies, and he's pretty nasty in melee. Got some good abilities as well. We saw the Foul Snare. Also got the Cloud of Flies, can consume units to regain some health and energy as well. I mean, it might just be energy actually. Usually they will consume heretics, but you never know. Might chomp on a Chaos Space Marine now and then. Maybe just go double Fire Dragons, Val.Hero. Banshees have done well. Level 2 gets a full power bash and a decap. That's not bad. Stuck at it. Didn't lose too much getting it done. This power's been kind of shut down for a while though. It is indeed double Fire Dragons. Now with Farseer support they should do reasonably well against a Great Unclean One. It has super heavy infantry armor, this big fella, which is relatively weak against the Melter. They'll do some dope bonus damage to him. Look at the spine and stuff. This is like one of the greatest models in any RTS, the Great Unclean One from Dawn of War 2. It's superb. In many ways, I think it's better than the Total War Warhammer 3 model. Certainly not worse. I wouldn't say it's worse in any way. I guess the Total War one has a greater variety of animations, but for general design, I think the Dawn of War 2 one's better. It's much more menacing looking. It like retains a little bit of joviality while also being menacing. The Total War ones are a bit more kind of cartoony. That might sound a bit harsh, but they're certainly not bad in Total War, not at all. But this thing's amazing. Look at him go. The guts hanging out and everything. There's some corn worship for him, which gives him +2 speed, which is quite frightening for these Eldar fellas. That was Cloud of Flies, which made them all green with envy or disease, one of them. It's a Chaos Predator now for packs. Camera glitching out again. I don't know what it is about the height map on this map that makes it glitch out around those areas. It glitches out around this area too sometimes. There's like massive variations in the height map for some reason. Like they tried to do it by hand. I believe this map was made by someone named London Duncan, who created a very early guide to map making, which certainly helped me out when I was making maps. I think they made Fedrid Folly as well. But yeah, it's almost as if they tried to do the height map by hand rather than let the world builder generate it itself. There's guide on the Fire Dragons. Where are the others? They're coming towards it. There they are in the mid. Oh wow. CSM getting absolutely wrecked by ranger shots and those Fire Dragons. Blood Crusher might finally go down here. Fire Dragons trying to create some space so they can get some shots in. The Blood Crusher did a little charge there. Farseer now has the Doombringer, and Doom has been placed on the Blood Crusher. Takes 30% more damage from all attacks now. But can the Fire Dragons do this? They're going to get inside the webway, maybe try to get back out again and get a few lucky shots. Yep, that's what they did, and it worked. Great Unclean One foul snares the Farseer again, because once you get into a garrison type thing, whatever was chasing you will lose you as a target, so you can get in, jump back out again, get a few shots before they reacquire the target and finish something off. Farseer now has Spirit Stones in her accessory slot rather than the Ghost Helm. Banshees infiltrated by the webway, chopping up the Chaos Lord while he does a Let the Galaxy Burn. There's the kill of the week. Heals him up to over half there, but there's a big heal from the Farseer and the Spiritual Rites. Doom up on the Chaos Lord, trying to get him down. Guide on the Banshees too. Farseer is starting to have a big impact in these engagements now. And there's a Psychic Storm. Great Unclean's not happy about any of this. See that passive damage effect on those Fire Dragons there. I think it's every 2.5 seconds. I'm not sure what the damage value is though. You can also get that kind of effect from the Plague Champion's Icon of Nurgle, and of course his Chosen Plague Marines, which I love. I love that change on those guys. Foul Snare again on the Farseer, and again she gets away. Or does she? Heretic's going to try and bayonet her to death. And then some shooty time. Wow, she gets away. 1 hit point she was on there. The other models, they have auto guns, which is like your basic Warhammer 40k battle rifle. Not sure if you'd call it an assault rifle. They seem to be... Yeah, maybe it is. Seem to be a bit heavier than an assault rifle, maybe. But I guess there's nothing else that would be deemed an assault rifle. Or maybe there is. There's so many kind of niche weapons in the Warhammer 40k universe. 317 to 210. Mark of Khorne for the Chaos Predator seems fitting for the Chaos Lord to go for. It's a great upgrade. Just does more damage all around and is a bit faster. These Fire Dragons taking way too much damage from the Great Unclean One there. They're lucky he doesn't have splash damage on his basic attack. Oh, finished off by the warp, by the, I was going to say warp vomit, but it's just Nurgle vomit stuff. I guess Val.Hero is watching elsewhere, cleaving through a bunch of heretics. Let the Galaxy Burn is well dodged by Val.Hero. Only one model gets hit, but that tank is going to do some real work here. Need to run away, fellas. The damage it did with that autocannon shot on those Fire Dragons. That one seemed to miss. Farseer puts Doom on the Chaos Lord and runs away. 305 to 210. Val.Hero still stuck in tier 2. Now has a Guardian weapon team. They'll start with a Shuriken Cannon, which is a suppression platform weapon going into a Bright Lance here for large targets. Because, you know, there's a couple of large targets they need to deal with. 299 to 210. Great Unclean One, again, a menace to some Eldar fellas. There's that Bright Lance now. Not sure what a DPS of Bright Lance does, but it's a lot. Those Fire Dragons took a... Oh, I think they were trying to beeline for the tank, which was weird. Where's the Doom? Where's the Guide? You have no energy, Mrs. Farseer? Yeah, she was out of energy to do her tricks. Oh, she did put Guide on the Bright Lance there. The Fire Dragons didn't try to run past the Great Unclean One. They might have been able to do some actual work to the Great Unclean One there. Probably not enough to take it out, but maybe enough to force it to stomp back to base. 294 to 193. Losing those Fire Dragons was a big deal. And it was a sloppy loss. I mean, I know they were microing elsewhere most likely, but it would still go down as a sloppy loss, just letting your thing stand there and take a bunch of damage. Double cap here for Pax. Looking quite solid. They've been quite mobile across the map. They really have. Ghost Helm being put back on the Farseer there. Can freely switch between war gear you've purchased if you wait. I think it's 20 seconds generally. There was a thing back in retail, or was it changed in Elite, where the war boss could switch his war gear faster than anyone else, I think. But that was fixed at some point. I'm not sure if that... I can't remember if that was a retail fix or something they fixed in the early days of Elite. Bright Lance getting a bunch of shots on the Great Unclean One here. And there's no Guide and there's no Doom. Hollow Fields infiltrating this stuff. I guess they want to put Guide on the Fire Dragons. It's another Shuriken. Oh, Doom goes on the Chaos Lord. That's what they want to get. And they get him. Bunch of levels up. Fire Dragon's going after the tank again. I guess it's easier to take down. Well, it's less health to chew through compared to a Great Unclean One. A soup unit like this in a 1v1 can be very difficult to deal with. You know, I mean, you get why they're called soup units in 1v1s. I mean, I'm going to say that, it's going to die right now. 294 to 109. It's a lot of damage on the Great Unclean One. These guys should be worshipping or repairing or something. Probably worshipping right now to help out this big fella. Farseer goes down. Shot by a tank. Fire Dragons give chase. Great Unclean One turns back around. That was actually a well-timed turnaround there by Pax. And we have a Chaos Dreadnought up somewhere. It's up here. With Mark of Khorne, of course. Wow, almost got both of these guys down, you know. Double Bright Lances packing a punch. Fire Dragons did survive. Farseer did not. And these Rangers are about to have a bad day. Once they get spotted. Boom. 2-1 for Pax, but maybe not for long. Sneaky shots from the Bright Lances. They might get this tank. They do get the tank. That was a rear armor hit. Should they have backed it off the base there, Pax? Well, evidently they should have. Even if they spotted that instantly, I don't know if after like the first shot, I don't know if they could have got it away. Maybe they could have. Chaos Lord's back to his feet. Khorne was not done with his bloodletting. Chases around the Bright Lance. I hear Banshees yelling. They are chopping up. Oh, Chaos Space Marines they found here. They do have an aspiring champion, but it's only the aspiring champion that gets away. And now they're going to try and take this southwestern VP. There's a webway there that they perhaps used. Chaos Lord decapping mid, now capping it. No cap game. Chaos Dreadnought being intimidating in the northeast. Rangers taking some hits from these grenade launchers. Need to be careful, fellas. There's a kinetic pulse to knock them down from long range. And you see the Fire Dragons switching to their Flamer, doing some good work to those heretics. But here comes a Dreadnought. Crack. That guy survived somehow. There's a Spirit Stone's heal. But now she doesn't have the energy to do some of her other tricks. And there's Blood Rage on the Dreadnought. It means that you lose control of the Dreadnought, but it does more damage, moves faster, has damage resistance, and is generally just a scary thing. There we go, control is back. And yes, it can attack its allies when it's in that state. There's Guide on the Guardians? No, that's the Embolden ability, I believe. Fire Dragons are here. And they might get this Dreadnought down. Now they're being tied up though. Grenade? Maybe a grenade could finish it here. There's an Imperial Abyss. Global nuke for Chaos. Red flavored because of Khorne, and down goes the tank. Actually got taken out by its own Abyss, I think. And these guys are moving poorly. Going straight into the center of the Abyss to die. They've had enough of Dawn of War 2. Maybe they had a bunch of sound bugs and stuff. Pax is down to 3 units. Cloud of Flies, nicely timed. Banshees have been pretty stellar so far. They're level 4, the ladies. Can't really fight them though. Get away. They're away. Are both the Bright Lances down? No, one Bright Lance is still up. Not sure what the Farseer is going to do here. She's trying to tie up those heretics, but she's just going to take too much damage doing it. Open up a bit of space for this decap though. Well, this potential decap. Great Unclean One is not happy about it. They got it, but then he kills the Rangers. Banshees reinforcing. Pax floating resources here. Can't get Terminators because they don't have the red for it. Oh, have they used Bloodlust? No, that's Slaughter on the Chaos Space Marines. Allows them to draw melee weapons, among other things, and they have chosen indeed to draw their melee weapons and scare off the Fire Dragons. Banshees are... What the hell? Oh, they were in a webway that was destroyed, I believe. That's what happened there. 271 to 56. More heretics on the way for Pax. Banshees getting their Exarch back. Oh, the blue text actually made sense there. Agile melee infantry. Sometimes it's nonsense. It's often nonsense, actually. Another webway is spotted. How many webways have there been? From Val.Hero. Banshees in on the CSM. Sending them flying with those special attacks. Doing tons of DPS at level 4. A nasty amount of damage. Are they really only going to get one model? That was quite unlucky for the ladies there. And now they got to face a Great Unclean One. Fully healed up Great Unclean One too. Where are those heretics? Just got an aspiring champion. Hanging out. Talking about chaos stuff. Blood and guts and viscera. And now... Are they going mid? Nope. Not right now. Is it worth the Fire Dragons even engaging the Great Unclean One without Farseer support and stuff? Probably not. You see them backing off here. They'll tickle it a bit, make him angry, and then have to run away, basically. Bright Lance needs to reface. There's Guide on the Fire Dragons, and there's Doom on the Great Unclean One. Bright Lance is going to set up. I think Doom is 10 seconds, or is it more than 10 seconds? Does it tell me on this thing? No. Banshees go mid to chop up some heretics. That was a shrewd choice. Farseer is going to die if she's not careful. Trying to fleet away from the melee of the Great Unclean One. Might need to run though. Yeah, that was smart play from Val.Hero. Fire Dragons are not shooting the Great Unclean One anymore. There we go. I thought they were going for Power Bash instead. Bright Lance and Fire Dragons doing huge amounts of damage, but he's got so much health, this fella. Over 6,000. 195 to 56. Double cap for Val.Hero. Look how red the map is, and look how many webways there are too. Has Pax capitulated too much here? Oh, Chaos Terminators hit the field just as I say that. They come equipped with Combi Bolters and Power Fists. Demoralizing enemies when they kill stuff, which stacks a debuff on them, meaning they take more damage and deal less damage. It's pretty nice. I think it's like a few percent per stack, but that adds up. You see it there. And those guys are just dead. Val.Hero dealing with this engagement instead, I guess. There's the kill of the week. Gets the Chaos Lord out of there. Level 8 this fellow. He's done some work, eh? Passes level 6. And we've got Wraith Guard in. These guys with Wraith Cannons dealing good damage to all targets. Small area of effect. And they suppress infantry. They won't suppress the Terminators, because you can't suppress those fellas. They're very slow moving though, and they're easy to tie up and stop in melee. 109 to 56, double cap for Val.Hero. Great Unclean One's back here. There's some Nurgle Vomit, wipes out the Howling Banshees. Even though they were on retreat, it wiped them out so quick they haven't even left the roster. There we go. That was nasty. Does it do full damage to retreating troops? I've seen that a couple of times now. Lots of damage on retreating stuff. Terminator did have Doom on them for a second. Farseer might go down here. Yeah, look at the damage from those Combi Bolters and the CSM. Level 4 Chaos Space Marines weighing in there. Again, good damage to the Terminators from the Fire Dragons, but there's just a lot of hit points to chew through. 3750 isn't as much as other Terminator variants have, but these guys can get some really cool upgrades. And they have worship support. If you've got heretics, that is. Where are the heretics, actually? Here they are. 45 to 56 on the VPs. Webways everywhere. Bloodletters coming in. Blood Sacrifice used by the Chaos Lord. 45 to 53. These are brand new Banshees, and they've gone Aspect of Strength this time. Surprised to see fresh Banshees come out, because they're only going to be level 1, of course. They just couldn't get out of tier 2. Couldn't defend that power, so that's like they stopped trying and just used guerrilla tactics. And they've done well with it, Val.Hero. Just webways all over the place. There's that Corn Worship. +2 speed on those Terminators. Look, they even demoralize stuff when they destroy a structure it had there. Who's this? Chaos Space Marine trying to get a triple cap for packs. Terminators have really turned it around. Really turned it around. And now they have an auto cannon. And Fire Dragons aren't going to like it. Foul Snail on the Farseer, so she can't get to the VP. And she knocked over a bunch of the Fire Dragons. Gotta run, fellas. Oh, it's desperation time for Val.Hero. Gets it down to 6 VPs. Trying to get a decap. It's not going to work out. Double here for packs. They're going to win this game. And there you have it. GG indeed. The Farseer bravely fighting at the end against a great unclean one. Level 9 Chaos Lord couldn't quite get to level 10. Was terrorizing Guardians at the end there. And the Farseer, level 6. It's an awesome game. Packs riding that Blood Crusher into tier 3. And doing some great work. But Val.Hero with that guerrilla fighting style with like 70 webways was awesome to see. They almost clawed their way back in. The Chaos Terminators was a threat too far for them in the end. There you have it. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.